Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. The eve and the day of Ashura mark a tremendously emotional time for many lovers and followers of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and his pure immaculate family. Hundreds of millions across the world gather to listen to the tragedy of Karbala and the story of the martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein, his family, as well as companions, expressing their mourning through the Husseini rituals, Al-Sha'air al-Husayniyah. This is very important and it's great to see and should not stop, but we should not also forget the recommended deeds and adab, etiquettes of the eve and the day of Ashura as well. Here are 10 things to keep in mind amongst others. Number 1, on the eve of the 10th of Muharram, year 61 AH, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam as well as his companions felt the sweetness of the remembrance of Allah through recitation of the Quran and worship of the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is therefore encouraged to follow on their footsteps tonight. It is highly encouraged as well to stay up in worship, for we are told the reward will be that of all the worship of the angels combined, as well as the reward equaling 70 years of ibadah. Several prayers have been recommended on the eve of Ashura. One of them is as follows: a 4-unit salah done as 2 units each time. In each ruk'ah after Surah Al-Fatiha to recite 50 times Surah Ikhlas, Qul Huwallahu Ahad. Afterwards recite salawat and ask Allah to distance the mercy of His from the enemies of the Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salam. In other words, to do la'an. Don't forget to perform Salatul Layl as well on the eve of Ashura. 2. We must not forget the Holy Quran during Muharram, and especially on the eve as well as the day of Ashura itself. The mesmerizing words of the Almighty was constantly on the lips of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam during this time. Recite some chapters on the eve and the day itself and write down notes of reflection too. On the day of Ashura, recite Surah Ikhlas as much as possible. We are told 1,000 times of its recitation on Ashura day brings down the abundant mercy of the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala. 3. A man by the name of Abdullah ibn Sinan states, I arrived in the presence of my master Imam Sadiq alayhi salam on the day of Ashura and found him pale and grief-stricken with tears streaming from his eyes like falling pearls. Ashura therefore should be a day of grief and sorrow, and this should be evident in our interactions and what we do. It's a day whereby the believers are encouraged to shed the tears and remember the musibah, the tragedy of Karbala throughout. Imam al-Rida alayhi salam is reported to have said, the one for whom the day of Ashura is a day of tragedy, grief and weeping, Allah the Almighty, the Glorious, should make the day of judgment a day of joy and happiness for them. Attendance of majalis as well as processions and the taking part in the Sha'air al-Husayniyah, the Husseini rituals, are highly encouraged as well. 4. Believers on Ashura day should refrain from eating and drinking until the afternoon. Yet they should not fast. Ashura day was emphasized as a day of fasting by Banu Umayyah, who would regularly celebrate on the 10th of Muharram. 5. The Ahl al-Bayt have emphasized the need to make Ashura different, in that we should not be seeking the pleasure of this world on this day. Imam al-Rida alayhi salam is reported to have said, one who refrains from seeking his worldly desires on the day of Ashura, Allah shall grant him his desires of this world as well as the hereafter. Hence, take the day off work and focus on remembering Karbala. 6. It is recommended to either visit the shrine of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam or recite Ziyarat Ashura. Now, the Ziyarah should be recited in full and without omissions. And if one is not able to repeat the certain parts 100 times, they should say the line and then utter 100 times. However, the actual recitation as per instructions is indeed rewarding. In Mafatih al-Jinan, Sheikh al-Qummi, Allah Ta'ala maqamah, also presents the lesser well-known Ziyarat Ashura, which he names Ziyarat Ashura al-Ghayr Mashhura. Try to recite this as well. Don't forget other ziyaras, such as Ziyarat Warith. 7. When seeing other believers, it is recommended to console each other by saying, عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بالحسين عليه السلام وجعلنا من الطالبين بثأره مع وليه الإمام المهدي عجل الله فرجه الشريف من آل محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. You could say this in your own language, such as in English. May Allah make our reward and your reward great for our grief for Hussein, peace be upon him. May he place us and you from those who help his cause with his representative, the guided Imam from the family of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him and his family. 8. To ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to withdraw his mercy through la'an from the killers of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. It is mentioned that this should be said 1,000 times on Ashura day. This also serves as an important reminder for us all to stand against all forms of oppression as well as injustice. Number 9. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam had several amazing du'as recited on the 10th of Muharram and throughout the day. Recite and reflect the first du'a that the Imam alayhi salam uttered, which starts with Allahumma anta thiqati fi kulli karb wa anta raja'i fi kulli shiddah. There is a link to a lecture I was honored to give on this dua, as well as the dua translated into English beneath this video. There is something special about reciting this dua, as well as the final dua of Imam al-Hussein on the day of Ashura itself. 10. We must not forget during this time what Imam alayhi salam stood and died for. Make a list of all that has inspired you this Muharram. How will this make a positive difference? For example, the grandson of the Holy Prophet stopped the fight to attend to his prayers. He was showered with arrows and lost a few of his companions who were defending him whilst remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in salah. Are we protective of this beautiful act of devotion? Don't forget also on the day of Ashura to remember his grandson, Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman al-Mahdi, may Allah hasten his reappearance, who is mourning like no other human being. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala awlad al-Husayn wa ala ashab al-Husayn.
Say